So there's been a lot of positive things in my eyes, anyway, that have been going on. I'm so optimistic about the future. Um, it feels like there's been a stranglehold on us. It feels like we've been financially pinned down. Can't really do much. Don't really feel like there's any reason to work hard. Uh, because of um, taxing us. If you work hard, they just tax the heck out of you. And it makes it kind of worthless to work overtime. And then you see, um, what what we have to work hard for, the women out here that drives us to work hard, well, they're not that appealing. So that's why you see a lot of men not really wanting to work hard. Because why? Why should we work hard? A lot of these females are absolutely entitled. They think that they're way higher than they really are in the sexual market value. Obviously, I mean, I've said all this stuff a lot of times before, so it's just like their egos are too high. They expect too much. I mean, I seen a female on the whatever podcast, and she's obese and talking about she wants a man. She's a single mom too. I think she's like mid 30s. I don't know. Anyway, she's not like 20 or nothing like that. Which for me is like, I don't care as long as she's not obese. But she's a single mom and she demands a man to make 5 million a year. That's what I'm saying. So why? What's the incentive for us to work hard? Why should we achieve excellence? Because even if we do achieve excellence, let's just say hypothetically we go through all the red pill stuff. We're working hard and all this, and for what? I mean, that's the best we can get. That's the best that they have to offer. Uh, yeah, this is not worth it. It's not worth the extra time and effort to invest all my. Even if I have the extra time, man, I'll just use it for leisure. Like, why? What's the point? That person obviously doesn't deserve excellence, and also like most of the good women are already taken. Like, seriously, there's not a lot of women that want to be wives or mothers. They just don't. They would rather be hedonistic, career oriented type of people. So it's and then we have to compete with like the LGBT community. So like that takes women out as well. I mean, if they don't like us, they like women. That's cool, whatever. But like that takes. I just feel like there's such a scarcity of women out here that are even worth. Like, it's just like A lot of women just think that there's so much more. So even if I was to achieve excellence, they don't deserve it. And then like, let's just say hypothetically, I get on like the top 5% of men or whatever. You work your way up, and it takes you like decades. Then you have just gold diggers liking you, so that you know they don't like you. Besides your money, so it's just I want a woman to have passion for me. I want her to want me. Other than like obviously like yeah, I gotta have I can't just be a bum, right? Gotta be able to like handle my business, but this is why a lot of men haven't been wanting to work hard, and I don't blame them. I've just pretty much checked out myself because I just don't care. It's just not worth it. But I feel very optimistic going forward. I see a lot of what I think is like conservative is the future, and I think that a lot of these feminist women, I think that they probably end up conforming, and um, I think we might see. Hopefully, we see a bunch of women like do some like self evaluation. The problem I've said 100 times is women don't have to feel like the repercussions of their actions. So like they don't really feel the effects of being an independent person, like a man. Not all of them, but like a lot of them. Because guys just bail them out. They get their validation from guys on the internet or whatever. I've said this stuff 100 times, but like I'm so optimistic about the future, like especially financially. Um, Trump's planning on to mass deport these people, and the illegals past mass deport the illegals. Okay, like you come here illegally, then you already broke our laws. You don't deserve to be here. Other people who like want to obey our laws and love our country and respect our country and not be entitled. I'm not saying like all illegals are entitled, but there's a certain amount that are entitled and like they just demand free stuff, and that's just not going to happen. And it feels like what it feels like being in the working class or the poor or middle class or whatever. It just feels like everything I'm working for, I'm just giving towards everybody else. Like, my car insurance is high, my health insurance is high. I cancel my health insurance for next year. Hopefully nothing bad happens, but I feel like I need to catch up. I think that there's some really positive things on the horizon. Trump's going to do executive order of capping credit card interest to 10%. Just it's not forever, obviously, but it's just like a temporary thing to help us out. See, that's the problem with the left. It's like they want us to be financial slaves. They haven't done anything for us. And there's a lot of policies that Trump is doing, like Bitcoin's at an all-time high. The stock market's doing really well, and the left wants to come out here and fearmonger. They keep on saying, "Oh, the tariffs are going to raise prices." Yeah. They say it's going to raise prices on everything, but like the problem is with that is, yes, on some things it's correct. It's going to raise prices on some items that are imported from different countries, but they don't care that the people who make those products, it's an unfair advantage. For the companies that like you're just like screwing over the worker. So what I think will happen is when he eliminates, hopefully this will happen, eliminate income tax. The best thing would be to get rid of the IRS and the Federal Reserve altogether, but at least so we don't have to feel as much tax. Stop taxing us, and that's what the tariffs will do. Like they'll just, that's where they'll get their income, the government. So like it'll kind of even itself out, and you don't have to buy those imported products anymore. And you know what it will do, and I never hear anybody talking about this, and I could be wrong, okay, because I'm not obviously always right, but what I think will happen is it'll give people an opportunity to start up their own businesses to compete with these companies who have completely screwed over the American worker by shipping the jobs overseas. So like, yeah, somebody's making t-shirts over there. Well, guess what? Somebody starts up a company, and then maybe they have their family all working together. Like that's just how like no company starts out like a huge corporation unless they have like so much investors or whatever. But it always starts out small. It starts off on the backs of the people who work hard. Maybe it's family, friends that start a company or whatever, and they just use their labor to get ahead. And be able to compete with these companies. They say, oh well, they say the tariffs will they'll put it'll be put on these companies, and then the companies will put the extra price onto us, the consumer. Which, sure, okay. Well, there's also like tariffs directly on different countries as well, and they don't talk about that. So it'll just make it fair for the average worker, I think. And then, like I said, I think it's a win for capitalism because people will be able to start up companies more and be able to compete with these companies who have screwed over the American workers drastically. Like they have completely screwed us over. I feel like me going to work, I feel good. I feel like it's actually going to do something. I feel like I can actually build something for myself and my family, instead of just getting by, just being stuck. just being stuck, and it's just like unfair. Like people shouldn't have to work 80 hours a week just to try to get ahead. That shouldn't happen. That's slavery, man. Like if you have your own business, like yeah, you're completely invested. But if it's hard for me to want to go work two jobs, to to work like that, and then the government just takes so much in taxes. And I'm just a rental worker anyway, so I'm not really invested in that company. Um, Besides, like maybe it's like hopefully the job security, but like they really don't cover health insurance anymore. They don't cover any type of pension. So I'm just a rental worker, and like there's no stocks into the company. Like there's no anything. It's just they just totally just use my labor. And I don't really get too much benefits from it. So like people are just like, oh, dude, what's the point? But I feel optimistic, and I think that we're on a good path. I'm so like the Democrats. They're the problem with them is they just keep on doubling down. They keep on saying he's a fascist. It's so crazy. So they're essentially calling the average person a fascist, and they think that they're gonna like win. That they think that's like gonna help their cause. Like completely, basically calling them the average person stupid who voted for Trump. Um, and the funny thing is about these people is like they called people like me conspiracy theorists because I questioned the election, and I had no issue with them questioning this current election. No, that's investigated. Let's do recounts. Go ahead, like let's see what happens because I want it to be a fair, free election. But the Democrats on the other side, they don't care. They always want to like win at any cost. It was so crazy, like how the Harris campaign is in debt, and they've raised like was a billion, like 1.3 billion dollars or something like that, and they're like 20 million in debt. Like that's why we are where we're at. Total financial failure, financial immaturity with these people, and it wouldn't surprise me if like they've basically laundered money in some type of way. So it comes back to them, that's like, why do they want to send money to Ukraine so bad? Like, I don't care about them. I don't care about these other countries. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to care when we're struggling so hard. When we're struggling so hard to even like find a purpose. I made a video and people were like, "Oh, you sound like you're gonna like self-delete," stuff like that. Like, probably did sound like that because that's where this society was leading us. It's like, what's the point? And then like people aren't having kids because there's not really any. This isn't a family-friendly place. Financially, it's hard as hell. It's not very prosperous. It's like we have to like support every other country. What about us, man? Our infrastructure's failing. We should be focusing on crime. Um, Another cool thing about the new borders is they're talking about wiping the cartel right off the face of the earth, which is amazing. Like, why are we not doing that? And it amazes me how the government has done nothing about this. They're worried about like, Ukraine and Palestine or Taiwan, but they're not worried about Mexico, of all these people coming here, which I understand why they are. If I was in their position, I might too. But why have China making 70% of our stuff when we can have these countries? We can give these people jobs south of us. But like they're flooding up here because there isn't economic relief for these people. So it would be cool if we can divert some of these jobs from China to there, and then people don't want to come here. People who come here usually like rep their country. They love their country they came from. They fly the flags, which whatever. But like if they were well off financially, where they were at, then they wouldn't even come here. That's what I'm saying. It was like, we should make it prosperous down there. And the cartels are a huge problem. They cause a lot of problems. They cause problems in the government, and they make the government corrupt. There's all these people like ODing from fentanyl. So like all this drugs, like why is our government haven't why isn't our government not done anything about it? It kind of makes me feel like they're involved in it somehow, like they to help destroy our country. Um, the average American is just tired. They're tired of the division. They're tired of like hearing about how America is racist. They're tired of hearing about race in general. People are so obsessed with race nowadays, and people are just tired of it. Like they don't want to hear about it. It's like people think that we live in the 1940s or something like that, or like slavery just ended like yesterday, and then it's like, dude, all that sucked. All that sucked, man. You know, but like, what are we supposed to do about it now? What are we supposed to do about it? No country is perfect. You look at the history of every country; they have their flaws. They've done messed up things. America has done messed up things too, especially recently with all the wars that we've been getting involved in. You know, collapsing different countries economically because they don't go along with what we want. Why don't we just leave people alone, man? That's the thing. Just leave people alone. You want to live a certain way, go ahead. As long as you ain't hurting anybody else, then it's like just leave them alone. Um, but the left wants to push everything onto you. They want to control you. They want power. They want slavery. Like nothing has changed from the 1865 with these people. They want slavery. They want people to. They want the people that they've imported here to be some type of subclass that doesn't get paid right. Look at the minimum wage. Look at the federal minimum wage. It hasn't gone up at all. It hasn't gone. Look at all the inflation we've had. Like the minimum wage pretty much here like should be around $18. Like here in Michigan should be around $18. Maybe a little bit higher because it's like I think it's like $21 to survive here. That's what they were saying. There's different estimates, stuff like that, but $7.75, who can survive on that? So that tells me like the plan was import these people, enslave them financially on multiple fronts, because not only are they not getting paid that well here, but they also have to owe the coyotes and the cartel for shipping them up here. So these people are like basically indentured servants, man. And in fact, even worse, they're just become like they're slaves. The left has no idea, like they don't understand. Like, yes, the tariffs, we're gonna have some economic turmoil for sure, and I feel so much better with Trump in there that he's got great people he surrounded himself with. That whatever economic turmoil we're about to go through, it will be like a soft landing. I don't think we're going to have like complete devastation, which we would have with the Democrats in charge, because they were just leading us off a cliff. That's all they do. And I hear all these arguments. Oh, this Democrat president had to clean up after this Republican president. And it's just like, it seems like that, but it's actually the other way around, because Democrat presidents, what they do is they like to, obviously they can't do it themselves, but Congress, they like to spend money. They like to print money. So essentially they just kick the can down the road. That's all they do. And how absurd is it to be like, oh, the government's going to shut down in 2 days unless we vote for this huge omnibus bill that has all this crap in there, has nothing to do with America. Seems like self-interest politicians. Another good thing that, like, think about this too. Trump wants to implement term limits. I mean, obviously, like, it has to go through Congress and Senate too. Like, all this stuff does. So, like, since we have another red wave, hopefully it doesn't turn into another 2016, man, because that was a brute. Like, Trump was the only one working. The Republicans were working against him. So hopefully, like, we have more populists in there, which I think we do, and we can actually get stuff passed. Like, we have to get this government reformed. And when you got good, smart people in there like Elon and Tulsi and Vivek and RFK. And it amazes me how the left is hating on RFK because he wants to make things healthy. We are like one of the most unhealthy countries in this world, man. Look at our healthcare. Oh, why is healthcare so much? Well, healthcare so much is because we're so unhealthy. People have to go to the doctor all the time. Um, if we can get people off of diabetes medicine, if we can reverse diabetes so they don't have to take it, well, people don't have to worry about the astronomical cost. If people can survive on one income, they don't have to worry about daycare, paying exorbitant amounts of money for daycare. It's supply and demand. That's what it is. And I think that there's a lot of goods that go up in price because of the oil. It costs a lot of money to transport stuff. So if we can drive down the prices of oil and gas, it'll make things cost less for everything here. And guess what? The companies who didn't export jobs overseas and continue to produce here are going to be rewarded handsomely for their efforts and of being American first and having Americans make stuff for them, which is great. A lot of these people on the left, they just like to fearmonger, and a lot of it's just pure projection on their part. Uh, they say that Trump's a Nazi, and then I'm like, how's he a Nazi? Trump's a racist. How's he a racist? But they have nothing. They don't bring anything. They never have any type of explanation of why they think that. You don't have to provide me a source. Just tell me like why you think that. And they don't have anything. They're like, oh, he's, like when they say he's racist, they say like because some non-white people decided to, I think in the 70s or something like that, they did a civil suit on I think his dad, him, and like the company, because of, they said discrimination, them getting kicked out or something, evicted. But Trump's rebuttal is because of Section 8. He doesn't want Section 8 apart. Like Section 8 is like not good. It's like I'm looking for places to live, and I seen a place I wanted to live, like where I'm at, and I'm like, this is cool. And I find out Section 8, and I'm like, I don't want that. It's because like people on Section 8, they don't have to really work for anything, so they don't really care about their environment. They don't, you know what I mean? It's like they don't really take, not all, but it's just like they seem like they care less. You know what I mean? They don't respect the property because they don't have to work for anything. Everything's just handed to them. So anyway, that was settled. But like that's all they bring up. And that was what, 5 decades ago? I mean, come on, dude. These people, like, he has done nothing. Even let's just say hypothetically, Trump was like in the KKK, like 50 years ago, and then you got him saying the hard R, like just being completely racist, right? What if he came to light? What if he changed? Like, what if he changed? Like, dude, I'm wrong. I was wrong. This was horrible. I was raised a certain way. I didn't know any different. I've changed. I changed my beliefs. I changed my stance on things. So it's just like, if somebody changes, the left is like, no, you're just like, you have this stigma forever. Like they have no, what is that word I'm looking for? They don't have any comeback, like retribution. They don't have any like coming back from bad things and becoming a better person. and realizing your mistakes and changing. They don't accept that. Because they want everything to go with their narrative. That's what it is, always about their narrative. They don't care about anything but power, power and control. And I want Democrats to get their act together, because I do not want, like, I think that the Republicans will probably be pretty good for the next 12 years, but um, they could turn tyrannical. And that's why we need the Democrats to get their act together and just become more moderate. Nobody wants nobody wants to go to civil war. Everything's gotten so polarized, like so far apart, left and right. Like, dude, we reject your woke stuff. If you want to be called a certain pronoun, and it's not real, like, you can't force people to do that, you know. I like, if somebody was to come up to me and say this, like, oh, I'm this pronoun, like, I'm just not gonna talk to you, man. I was gonna avoid you. Like, I don't want to be told what to say, how to say it. I'm a respectful person, man. Except on X, I'm really not. I'm really terrible on there. But in person, because, like, in person, violence can happen, and I try to be respectful. I want to be I want to treat people how I want to be treated. So I try to be respectful. Um, and that's the problem, is there's a lot of people who aren't taught respect. A lot of the youth, there's been a lot of failure with adults teaching their kids, and that's kind of where we're at. Like, the left is a complete, like, they keep on saying MAGA is a cult, and yes, there's cult-ish type of people in MAGA for sure, but they never look at themselves at all. It's like they only want to push things that feed their narrative. They don't ever look at, like, the bad things that go for their narrative. They only look at things one way, and they just, like, when you talk to these people, they all sound the same. Like, seriously, like, these people regurgitate the same thing over and over. And the funny thing is, these people, like, they think they're elitists. They talk about education, like, they ramble on about education, as if, like, if you get a college education, you just automatically know everything. You're the smartest person on the world because you have a college degree. Like, I can't learn on my own. Like, I don't have access to the internet. I don't have access to books. I can't learn on my, I just I have to go to school. I have to listen to what a professor tells me. And that's it. I can't have any type of critical thinking. I can't question anything that goes against their narrative. And that's their problem. They have to start questioning their narrative. I'll question Republicans. I do all the time, man. I question the right all the time. Something I don't like, boom, boom. I question it. And that's good. We should have discussion. We should have debates. So we should be like, that does make sense. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't have the correct information. I didn't look at it from that way. But the left is like, I just need to repeat everything. We're all the same. It doesn't matter. Like, they're communists, man. Like, we're all the same. There's no, it's all fists. These people want power. They want to punch you. They're violent. These people are violent, man. Like, okay, like Nick Fuentes. Not really a big fan of his. Some things I like what he says. But the fact that he made a troll. It went viral. He got doxxed. And some lady just showed up on his doorstep. Like, if you get doxxed and somebody shows up on your doorstep, like, are you going to be like, hey, you want to have an apple pie? Hey, you want to come in? No. Just show up unannounced. Like, who shows up? I don't even show up unannounced at people I know. People I'm cool with. I need a call. I need to make sure that they know I'm coming over. But yeah, it's just like, I'm so optimistic about the future. And I know that the left, it seems like they're trying to destroy America. That's what it seems like. And what I want is to embrace capitalism, to get us off of capitalism so we can make the technology so we don't got to worry about money no more. I hate having to worry about money. I hate it. It'd be just nice to be like, just to live my life, robots are taking care of everything. I don't have to worry about doing the dishes. I don't have to worry about cooking. I don't have to worry about doing my laundry. I don't have to worry about any of that. I just have robots take care of it. Um, Unlimited food. I don't got to worry about it. Like that sounds cool to me. I don't like having to go to work and fight for resources, having to worry about my car. Oh man, it's so dumb. Like having to worry about having to get back and forth to work is such a stress. If we can eliminate all these stresses, it's amazing. I don't. If people don't want to live like that, then they shouldn't have. Like, go ahead and live on the farm somewhere. Go start your own farm. You know what I mean. So, I want technology to evolve, and it has to. At this point, because like the people aren't having kids, so we're gonna have a huge collapse coming up when it comes to Social Security, Medicare. Those are going to be like a huge collapse. So we need technology to basically save us, in order to avoid calamity. Not to say that there's not going to be a baby boom in the future, but like we don't want to go to Mad Max, man. We don't want to go back to a third world country. It's nice having what we have. So preserving what we have and making things better, evolving things, innovating things, like that's a good thing, not just like regressing like the left wants to do. These people believe in segregation. They want to bring back segregation. And the funny thing is too is like they think that stuff is okay for like non-whites, but for whites it's horrible. And people are tired of that, man. People are tired of hearing about how white people are so horrible all the time. Like how? How are we horrible? I'm just tired of hearing about it. Are there horrible white people? Of course. Are there horrible non-whites? Of course. There's horrible people in all races, but it's like people are so obsessed with like superficial things, especially on the left. They're so shallow. They want to put people in charge of different things because of how they look. That's absurd. You want to put people in different areas where they can make the job better. You don't want somebody coming in there and just destroying everything because they don't know what they're doing. But we had to hire them because of how they look. Everyone should have a chance, man. It shouldn't matter. Like you should be able to earn your way up, build your way up, gain the knowledge to be able to do jobs. And your race shouldn't matter. Your gender shouldn't matter. And it doesn't. There's laws. So if somebody is being discriminated against, you sue. You sue. And I'm sure it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. And that is horrible. That's absolutely brutal. And you sue. You sue that. Because it's not supposed to. We have civil rights for a reason. But I'm really optimistic. I don't want to listen to any more black pill stuff. I was listening to TFM the other day, and I just had to turn it off because he's like, black pill. And I was like, dude, I'm like sitting here celebrating, excited about the future. I haven't been this excited about the future forever. Like this week was an amazing week for me. Do I think it's gonna last? No. But I had a great week. I've seen the Democrats get completely annihilated and embarrassed on all fronts with the election. They lost the presidency, they lost the Senate, they lost the House. Bitcoin has shot up. I can't believe how fast it went up. It went up like $10,000 in 2 days. It was like 68,000 on November 5th, and right now I think it's sitting at 86,000, and it got up to almost 90,000 yesterday. On X, I think I probably had the last 7 days I've had 1.5 million impressions. So like obviously like it's probably not gonna sustain, right? On X. I think that people are going to start maybe not using that as much because people are going to go back into their life. Politics aren't going to really be on the forefront like they were this last week. Politics is like huge right now. And I think it's going to tail off because people are tired of politics. They don't want to think about that. They want to go back to their normal lives. They want to go back to whatever hobbies they're into. Politics is just like, we don't want to worry about it, man. We just want to live our lives. And that's the most people. They just want to enjoy the sporting event, provide for their family, spend time with their family, basically just be a regular person. And that's good. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. My thing is, like, if you're gonna vote, you should definitely know what's going on, at least a little bit. Another thing with these Democrats is so funny to see. I guess Oprah took $1 million. Beyonce took $5 million. So, like, essentially, Kamala had to pay these celebrities to come and support her. They didn't support, we're all sitting there seeing all these celebrities roll out for her, like Megan, the Stallion, the Eminem, or seeing these people. We were seeing these people at her rallies, and I was thinking to myself, dang, man, like, they're not taking, they're just like, they're just doing because like they support her. No, but they got paid to support her. That's crazy. These millionaires, think about that. These people are like, Oprah is worth over $1 billion and she took $1 million. Crazy. Like, why do you need that? How much did Elon put out? Like, he put his own money up. Like, he didn't get paid. Trump didn't pay him to be up there. He did that on his own. Like, this dude has like 3 companies, 4, whatever he has. He's got a bunch of companies he's responsible for. He's got like 12 kids. Dude's busy as hell, and he's coming up there, volunteering his time for like rallies and everything else. Even like donating his own money to try to get people to sign up for a petition. I think for the PAC that he created, he donated a lot of money. So like, it's so weird to see like these people on the right actually donate their time, not get paid to do it, and then you see these people on the left get paid to support Kamala, and that just shows you how phony everything was, and it just seems so phony and disingenuous with those people, and that's why they got rejected. The average person see what was happening. They seen these people were completely out of touch with reality. The only thing that they were pushing for policy was like abortion. Like that's the only thing they were saying. They're saying Trump's going to eliminate abortion federally. That's what they were saying, which he's not going to. Maybe Vance will. I don't know. Or somebody else down the road. If the Republicans have the majority. So like, that's why the Democrats need to get it together to keep it for the states' rights for abortion, be pro-choice. But but they weren't pushing anything but that. Like, you don't care about us. You don't care about the struggle we've been going through. The average person is just sitting there like, dude, I am like going nowhere. I'm just like on a treadmill with no carrot in front of me. There's no reason for me to even keep existing. And that's what it felt like. And these rich people, which, yes, there's rich people that supported Trump, of course. Like, what do you think Elon is? Apparently there's 82 billionaires that supported Kamala and 52 that supported Trump. So you can see like who's the elitist. Yes, there's elite on both sides, of course, but like you see, there's more towards Kamala. That's how it was. There's no relatability at all with us, and they claim like what it is. What the Democrats do is they just take minority groups. They just try to get all these minority groups, all these little groups, and try to say they are defending them and trying to help them. But it's only for like votes. That's it. And then as soon as the election's over, they just abandon them. Are they out here fighting for us anymore? No, they don't care about us. Um, but yeah, it's like abortion's your number one thing when we're about to go to nuclear war, or World War III. Are you kidding me? Um, and the lying, people just seen the propaganda. They seen what the. I'm glad that people seen that. That really like surprised me because I was really getting black pilled and thinking, man, people can't see this. Really, they don't know what's happening. They're not really paying attention. After like what happened in 2020 and then 2021, like people aren't paying attention. That's what the Democrats did, man. Like I can't talk about it, but like the lockdowns were them. Think about who they have for president. Who's the number one potential candidates coming up? The lockdown king, Gavin Newsom, the lockdown queen, Gretchen Whitmer, and Pete Buttigieg. I think Pete Buttigieg is probably better than those, but like that's horrible. If you look at the presidential people on the right, man, they're stacked. They are stacked to the brim of potential great candidates. Like even Tulsi Gabbard, man. You got Tulsi Gabbard, you got Vivek, like RFK ran for president. You have JD Vance will probably be the next president after Trump. Um, so it's just like you don't have anything to offer us. There's no relatability. You're seeing like Kamala come out here and act like she's on the phone uh, with some type of voter, and then she shows everyone the screen, and it's just a camera. The camera's on. She's not even talking to anybody. And they just came across as so phony, and I'm so glad that the American people have seen it past it. Um, because that's what they are. They're just phony. They don't care about us. They only care about themselves. They only care about pushing their agenda, self-interest, and then like whoever controls them, they only care about what they want to do. They don't care about the regular people. And they act like, the thing is, they try to act all compassionate and they try to act like they're the highest morale people, but you got women out here threatening to like take men out via what they put in their drinks or whatever they put in their food. Like you got women on camera saying that. You have a guy that just took his whole family out, himself and his ex or something like that, because Trump won. Like these people are crazy, man. You got these people just like, they don't live in reality. They're like so insulated from reality. It's unbelievable. And they don't live. It's like they live in some type of warped Disney fantasy that they're in a movie. You got Tim Walz. Like think about it. Tim Walz couldn't eat. Like Kamala, okay, whatever. Hypothetically, she's a vice president. She's busy doing stuff, and then campaigning at the same time, which I don't think that she was doing anything with her vice president. But anyway, she's doing that. And then like the last week, like, okay, she's got all these events set up. Apparently, but she couldn't even go on the Joe Rogan podcast. You know what I mean? She couldn't even go on there. Not even Tim Walz. Like, why couldn't Tim Walz go on there? He had the time to play a video game, which I guess the controller wasn't even on, and just have some type of live stream with AOC. They have nobody. AOC is a joke, man. Like, everyone in the Democrats is a joke. I know how to reform the party. If they want to reform the party, they need to be like MAGA, but left. A little bit to the left. Abandon all the woke stuff. Abandon all the DEI stuff. You could challenge a little bit of things, but people want the Republicans and the Democrats close together. They don't want like complete separate. We don't want to go to civil war, man. We don't like, people have things. People don't want that. The average person doesn't like violence. Yeah, they keep on bringing up Jan 6, and it's just like, when you think about Jan 6, there's like so many different factors, and they just put the same things out. The same things like, oh, they're horrible, 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 like every single one of them. And you see like cops waving people in, and you wonder like, you think about the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot and then how the FBI made all that up and then the guy got off of that case. And you wonder, like, is there FBI agents in there instigating things to. Is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just like, you get the right to the 2020s, and that's okay. It's okay for the left to go ahead and weaponize the government against their political rivals, like what they've done to Trump, like with those 34 felonies. It's like they're willing to destroy our justice system just so they could have end our economy. Like, we can't sustain all those illegals. Are you kidding me? Yeah, but they're willing to smear all that just to say that Trump is a convicted felon while supporting George Floyd, who's a convicted. Like, you support a convicted felon? It's like, you're worshiping a convicted felon. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, it's okay when they do something, you know what I mean? But it's just because they're blatant hypocrites. That's what they are. And then Trump, all those felonies that he's been charged with are going to be thrown out. They're going to be appealed. He's not going to go to prison. All that's crap. If we have a free, fair justice system, he's not going to get tried. And they say, oh, he did this. Like, listen, man, it's a bunch of crap. And I'm optimistic about the future, and I want to be optimistic. I feel good. I think I feel like things have lightened up for us, even though, seeing progress. It just didn't feel like there was any progress being felt. It just seemed like we're going backwards. That's what it felt like. I want to see progress. It doesn't have to always be progress. Of course, you go backward a little bit, but I want to be able to overcome going back, and then seeing like if I do overcome going back, I can get back on track. As of what we've been going through, where it feels like even if you do get hit with the going back, it's like, dude, I'm already way back here anyway. It's like I can't. I'm like struggling to swim over here. I'm drowning, and the waves keep coming over. I'm barely making it, and yeah, I think that the average American can relate to that. They don't want this. They don't want division. They're tired of it. They're tired of America being called a racist when this is like the most accepting country in the world, man. These people who say like this country is so horrible, then go somewhere else. Like, go visit somewhere else and then come back and tell me you still hate this place. They've been fed all this crap from their professors, from the media, and that's what it is. It's just pure propaganda, and people are tired of this crap. They're tired of it. That's it.